Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments. I don't know the name of the show, but it's something about Jack Murphy and Eliza Blue being cucks. I am your host, Jay Fry. With me, as usual, is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. We're here.
What's the thumbnail?
The thumbnail is basically Eliza Blue on Timcast, but with Jack Murphy's beard.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it was a year ago that Jack Murphy got busted for being a complete fraud, and, it's an annual event, so this year it's Eliza Blue.
Speaking of beards, how's it going, Garrick?
He is muted.
How's the wife? And that's a loud car. Thanks, loud car.
I didn't hear the loud car, but Garrick is muted, so he'll be with us when he's with us.
Thanks, Garrick. You're with us for an hour before the stream. So what do we got for topics tonight? We got The Shining, if Garrick ever unmutes himself.
Yeah, we could, keeping with the format, we got to start with the movie review.
I didn't see it, so you guys go for it.
How have you not seen The Shining?
Don't ask. I've seen maybe 20 minutes of it, and I get busy every time I start to watch it.
Okay.
Usually,
so you have no idea about like the middle of Ready Player One. You're just clueless.
I get the references. I'm aware of Blood River. I'm aware of Here's Johnny, and a couple other things. But yeah, like Matt, the more nuanced stuff I'm not aware of.
Okay. I'm down with him not being able to give a rating. I give it a 4.5, 5. It's a good movie. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just a fan of terrorizing Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. Yeah.
Like, she deserves it. Okay, so for this scene, we're going to sit here for 3 minutes while you don't smoke a cigarette. And action. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for the ash to drop off. We got gold. 16 more takes. I read somewhere there was like one scene they did 127 times.
Jesus. I mean, Kubrick does make Kubrick makes good shit, but
I'm a big fan of Kubrick. Yeah.
The way he jumps on those squares. Yep.
I like his dog sidekick. Wait, that's Dilbert. Never mind. Now we're way off.
Screw Scott Adams. That guy's a jerk. Kubrick makes good stuff, but a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah, I heard they were going to fake the moon landings until they wanted
Till
something about
Kubrick wanted it done for real so he could film it.
Yeah, something about I can't even think of the fucking joke. Something about filming it, depiction at the real location. I can't think of how that joke goes right now. That's how talented I am. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's why there's 4 of you tonight. Eventually.
No one.
I said eventually. What? On location. Thank you. God damn it. On location. Ron Howard didn't do On Location, but he did actual weightlessness on the vomit comet, like 37 fucking times. That is a lot of traveling on something called the vomit comet.
Yeah. For what movie?
Apollo 13?
Oh, okay.
Isn't that Ron Howard?
I don't know.
I might be off about the number. It could have been like 6. I don't fucking know. But there definitely were scenes filmed in the vomit comet, which is a plane that goes into the lower atmosphere and then fucking drops, causing weightlessness inside the cabin. And that's how...
What, 16,
astronauts...
20-second bursts?
Yeah, I think maybe it's 37 seconds.
Yeah, it might be
37 times,
it might be
37
full
seconds.
half a minute, yeah.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, there's Bourne movies that, walking from an elevator to a door has 17 separate cuts. Like, I watched, it was a Resident Evil, and it was just a scene where Alice slid underneath this guy. She was in a bathroom fighting this giant fucking dude with spikes in his head and a giant fucking mallet axe. And all she did was slide underneath the blade and then get up and flip over the dude. And it was like 16 cuts for 5 seconds.
Yeah, TV and movies are too jump cutty for my taste anymore. I'm just an old grumpy ass old man, apparently. But yeah, like sustained shots aren't a thing that happen anymore.
Well, I mean, there used to be a time when you were recorded live in front of a studio audience.
Yeah, but even shows like that would have multiple cuts. Well, first off, they were 3 cameras, and they would do multiple
cameras.
Well, and they did multiple takes. So the show you saw on TV wasn't done contiguously. It was... Scenes were done in front of a live studio audience, yes, but then the end product was cobbled together.
Yeah. Like it was filmed 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Start to finish. And, they checked the box every time a scene was done. Like, yeah, we got that one. Yeah, we got that one. That wasn't the greatest one. And then you would compare them. I like this one best. This was best delivery here. It wasn't like the Carol Burnett show, which only got 1 take.
Well, that's because Harvey Korman couldn't keep his shit together.
Oh, I beg to differ. I watched one just the other day. He was a therapist, and Carol was the patient, and she was telling about how she was having problems with her husband and her in-laws, and he says most of this is a trauma response to something that happened when you're younger, and it ended up being about a fat kid stole her pail. Harvey Korman ended up being the fat kid. There was this whole thing, and they were pulling pails out of everything. He opened his door to his closet, and like 30 pails fell down. It's fucking hilarious. He kept it together almost entirely the whole thing. Almost.
It's because, Tim Conway wasn't in that one, was he?
Yeah, he did there was another one that was Tim Conway, and he was a pharmacist, and Harvey went in to get heart medication, and I didn't realize that. I'm like, do pharmacists really? Do they used to have to make the pills like from scratch?
They used to do a lot of combining of ingredients and pressing into pill form back in the day.
Yeah, well, he did, and he had a pewter pestle and mortar and fought off something that had eggs. Like there's like a creature in the back room that he fought off for an egg, size of an ostrich egg.
So next week's movie is Top Gun. I'm assuming you've seen Top Gun, Garrick.
Yes, the soundtrack.
The
is
original.
fucking- yeah, the soundtrack is annoying because the whole movie it's like two
What?
songs that play.
What are you talking about? They sing more than 2 songs in that movie.
Yeah, but 40% of the movie is one song playing over and over again.
Yeah, Danger Zone, because it's badass.
No, not Danger Zone. The other one. What's the other one? I like Danger Zone.
No, it's Highway to the Danger Zone.
No, there's another one.
The theme from Top Gun, yes.
Love and Feeling?
No, that's just one little bit in it.
Take My Breath Away by Berlin.
No.
Yeah, that plays way too often.
I think the theme gets more play than that does.
Not the last time I watched it.
Maybe just because you didn't like it, you heard it more.
Maybe.
Or is it that you wanted that to be playing during the volleyball scene?
Shut up. How many gay jokes do you think are going to come out of the chat for that scene?
Oh, I hope tons.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's going to be
I don't know what you
interesting
guys are
is
talking
because
about. That's the most hetero thing I've ever seen in my life.
given Matt's professed like for Brokeback Mountain,
Ooh.
he's going to be glowing, absolutely glowing about the volleyball scene.
Is that a blush I see on you, good sir?
You got something to say? Say it into the mic. Shithead.
Who was that?
My cat.
Oh. I was like, we call him a wife for the son, shithead. Jesus Christ.
That's what I was wondering.
Nah, the cat. Decided he had to get up on my lap and yell at me. So, Shining was good. There's no there's no argument between the review and the people who have seen the movie.
I did get to show Lily my proposed list if I ever get picked. She was like, that's a good list. So I have approval.
Was that your first time meeting Matt?
Yes.
Ah,
And Lily.
gotcha.
And he is 6 foot tall. Can confirm.
Okay.
I don't remember if she was in heels or not, but she was almost as tall as him.
Well, we've already established that she's proportioned.
That's a very polite way of putting it.
Well, I don't want to step in the poo puddle that Jay likes to step in.
It's an acquired taste.
All right, so we expect Top Gun to get 4 or 5.
Actually, I think he's going to give it a 3 for whatever reason, because there's nothing. It's like a purely entertainment movie. You know how he is. There's got to be something to it.
He likes to think afterwards. Like, it's a movie, man.
Again, he
The only
doesn't
thought you
have
need to,
an.
the only thinking you need to do after Top Gun is that what a loss it is that we no longer have Tom Skerritt.
Yeah. Again, movies like that, or Dirty Harry, or um, what's another one? Ghostbusters. You have to appreciate a movie for pure entertainment value, and he doesn't do that. So
Wait, why don't we have Tom Skerritt?
Isn't he dead?
No.
I thought Tom Skerritt was dead.
I don't think so. I would have heard about it. He's a Detroit boy.
Hang on.
No fucking way, Tom Skerritt.
No, he's still alive.
I was gonna say 89. Jesus Christ.
My bad. They just haven't seen him in anything anymore.
that was a oops.
He's 89.
Fair enough. He's allowed to be retired. I'm not going to hold that against him.
Jesus Christ, he was in a movie in 2021 called East of the Mountains. And he was in A River Runs Through It. And he may or may not have made out with a 16-year-old Drew Barrymore in 1992.
Wait, how do you spell his last name?
Skerritt.
That's what it was. It was the K. I put a C.
Fine.
He's the original Alien crew
I'll
member.
adjust that to too bad about Val Kilmer then.
Who's also still alive for the audience that isn't here.
Yeah, but
He's still looking pretty good for 89. Good Lord.
Well, when you think 89.
Well, Shatner's 94. Have you seen that man?
Mm-mm.
He looks like he's in his 60s. All right, so what do we got for topics?
I got nothing. I did watch a weird movie kind of based around another movie. And I don't know what the name of that movie was, but I think it was something like the Ten Commandments. Did Cecil B. DeMille write or direct a movie about the Ten Commandments?
Yeah, didn't he do the one with Charlton Heston? Cecil B. DeMille. Yeah, the Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston in 1956. He did Cleopatra. He did Samson and
That
Delilah.
doesn't seem old enough. Those don't seem old enough.
What, 56?
Yeah. It had George Kennedy playing a kid. And George Kennedy was born in like 1925.
Let's see what else he did. Was it The Signs of the Cross? Because he did that in 1932.
I just need something before probably 1940. That took place in Egypt.
The Sign of the Cross. Or Cleopatra.
No, I think it was...
Cleopatra he did.
I think it was the Ten Commandments. There's a joke about the Ten Commandments being in there. And it's like, sir, you're running pretty close over budget. And he's like, well, then we'll call this movie The Five Commandments. But it was interesting because it had Alec.
You know what? No, according to this, he produced a movie called The Ten Commandments in 1923.
There we go. That's perfect. Because it had George Kennedy playing a kid who was on the set, and It had God damn it, what's the name of that movie? What was the name of that movie? But the thing about it was that it had Adam Baldwin as a bad guy. And
What? Charlton Heston was in the first one too? What? This is bizarre.
Is it a remake? What's going on here?
Well, yeah, the Charlton Heston as Moses one is a remake. But according to this, Charlton Heston was actually in the first one as well.
I'm never gonna find this freaking movie.
You'll drown.
Sands of Oblivion. Yeah. Yeah, and it had Dan Costanella in it, who is like one of the main voices on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And he played Cecil B. DeMille. Yeah, the main voices, I said. But it had who's Deadpool's girlfriend? Whoever's Deadpool's girlfriend is. George Kennedy, Adam Baldwin, Victor Webster, Richard Kind had an appearance. And for a second, I thought it had Gomez Adams, but it was John Aniston instead of John Aston. I'm like, oh, that was close. I was almost excited for this movie. I think the last thing I saw him in was Frighteners, and that was like '99. I like it when they lost too like that. But this movie was terrible. I'm not sure if it was made for the Sci-Fi Channel or just distributed by him, but like apparently George Kennedy needed a new roof, so he did this movie. But yeah, it's like, who makes Adam Baldwin a bad guy?
Hollywood.
Fucking Hollywood. Like, I get he's not a good guy. Like, sure you can do that, but that guy a bad guy? It'd be like making just trying to think of somebody really baby faced. And but they make a Dabney Coleman a good guy. You just can't do it. Even in Cloak and Dagger, he wasn't like the best.
Well, that's true. I was gonna say, but Cloak and Dagger exists.
Yeah, no, he's still not a great guy. It'd be like, and tonight in Romeo and Juliet, Romeo played by Wallace Shawn. Inconceivable. But I watched that, and I watched some piece of shit with your boy Parker Lewis that just like failed on every level. Dragon Wasps? Something like Dragon Wasps. But it takes place in like Colombia or Bolivia or something, but has like, it's definitely South America, but it's got all these like African relations to it. I'm like, you guys sucked at this. Who was your set designer? He's supposed to be South America. Why is everybody in this cartel black. Just terrible. Fuck. He ends up getting his whole team gunned down because he gets high, and it's so fucking bad. But it was an enjoyable thing to yell at. Like, I yelled at my TV for no fucking reason for 2.5 hours between these two movies, because they're all like 40 minutes long, because the writers can't be bothered to actually fill a script either. I can't think of the last time I saw something good. Last DVD I bought intentionally because I enjoyed the movie was Cabin in the Woods. Apparently Joss Whedon's a giant piece of shit anyway.
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen a movie in a while that I've truly enjoyed.
I mean, I was completely entertained by American Beauty, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was an interesting watch, but yeah, it felt uneasy by the time it was over, and I didn't quite know why.
Yeah. I did not enjoy that movie, but I was entertained the entire time I watched. I was like, I was invested in that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not that it was a piece of shit. It wasn't bad. Like, it was just creepy and gross, and it's like anybody who likes hard candy. Like, you like that movie?
Well, for American Beauty, it was like, it didn't seem to really have a point. Like, there was no takeaway from it.
I don't know. I felt like it shit pretty well on those people who are like, it's a bag blowing in the wind artistic. Like, no, you're autistic.
Yeah, there was no characters to root for, except for maybe the daughter, who, I mean, just...
I rooted for her titties. I'm like, I don't know if she's topless or not. Like, through a window pane, I'm like, that could be two different people.
Right.
But whoever the boobies are, I like that person. But it's also weird because Thora Birch is someone I saw grow up.
Right.
Like Danielle Harris, Thora Birch, oddly enough, Allison Hannigan, Seth Green. Thank God Macaulay Culkin's not anything, but what's his fucking brother's name? Kieran Culkin is another one, even from the same movies. I did enjoy Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So, I didn't buy that, though.
The last movie I enjoyed that I've watched was Sonic 2. And I shouldn't have, but it ended up being good and it impressed me, so...
What part impressed you?
All of it. It was just a better story, better told than most shit that I've seen in the last while. It's like way better than a popcorn movie for kids should have been.
Keep sitting there like, yep. 16 Abrams tanks could have made a robot that size. Yep. Oh yeah, we're throwing in an engine out of a train. Absolutely.
Right. Well, I mean, it was just...
It's just how that happens.
Better than it had any business being for a popcorn muncher. It was just, and it wasn't trying to, impart any, moral lesson or anything. It was just a movie for kids.
Yeah. But I like how Knuckles was so dumb even kids could groan at him.
Right.
Go on. Like, he's not the brains of this operation.
I wanted to like Multiverse of Madness, but even Sam Raimi couldn't save that piece of garbage.
Yeah, no. Hawkeye could have destroyed her and has destroyed her in the past. Like Hawkeye could beat you. Anybody with an actual projectile would have whipped your ass. Your shield's not invisible. Well, we know when it's up. Any infantryman in this man's military, this man's army, could have killed you, Wanda, but somehow you're magically defeating people you have no right to be. Like you're one of the top 10 magicians in the MCU, but it's chaos magic. It doesn't work the way you want it to. Why is all of a sudden it working the way you want it to? Sarah Michelle Gellar, speaking of Joss Whedon being a piece of shit, came out poo-pooing on the fans of anytime they put a female cast together for Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, the fans shit on it. And I'm like, that's not the fans' fault. Listen, you bitch. You played Buffy for 57 years. You're not even the original. And who shit on you? You were like the fucking prom queen of the 90s. Like the late 90s to the 2010 was your ass pretending to be a teenager for far too long.
Right.
And no one said shit about you, no matter what happened on that fucking god awful atrocity. Like don't act like we've always had it out against women. This is the writer's fault, not the fans' fault.
Well, it's the writers, it's the directors, it's the producers. I don't blame the actors. They're just there to fill a role. They just do what they're told. So, I mean, I would like more of them to push back more often, but whatever.
They do plenty of pushing back. It's just not in the direction I prefer. But yeah, I'll blame the actor. If it's Jennifer Lawrence fought to get a line included in the latest X-Men she was in about I don't know why it's called X-Men. It's always the women cleaning up all the messes here. The entire last movie was her fault. From start to finish, it was Mystique trying to kill Peter Dinklage. That was the impetus for the entire fucking roundup of all the mutants. Like, don't fucking give... Like, any fan of the series would be like, listen, bitch. And that's the problem, is these are people knowledgeable on the topic. Henry Cavill didn't leave Witcher because he was a diva. Henry Cavill wanted to be faithful to Witcher.
Right.
And they had other ideas.
Right. Well, bad ones.
Yes, they had other ideas, and they were bad ideas.
Well, and now James Gunn fired him from the DCEU, and he's no longer Superman either. So, I mean,
do you have a list?
Do
you have the list
of who got fired?
Yeah.
Well, it's Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck
from the Justice League. No, to do it in order. No, the first one's the black guy.
Oh, Cyborg, but yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah, well, he was instantly Fisher Price, something like that. I don't remember his name. He was the first one let go. No one cared for him. Unsurprising, he was not good. Then it was it Ben Affleck next?
Well, I can't tell if Ben Affleck was fired or just chose not to renew. And I think it might be the latter because there was no big hubbub about it. When they cast Richard Pattinson for the Batman, I think Ben just said, "Okay, well then, whatever. I don't care," and just didn't re-up. I think is what happened, and I think that's the same for Momoa. I think Momoa just didn't renew a contract, but he's publicly stated that he's no longer going to be in it.
Yep. And then, what?
Then Henry Cavill was dismissed as Superman, not kindly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Also let go?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Literally the,
The
only
only person-
one they're keeping is the absolute
Go
one
on.
that should have been gone.
The only one that should have been evicted from the cast is the last man standing, who's facing felony counts in 3 separate countries, 3 separate states, one separated by an ocean.
Yeah, I
I don't know, possibly multiple states or countries.
Well, Hawaii, New Hampshire, is it, or Maine?
I think it's both. I think he went to, he was in New Hampshire, and I think he went to Maine or Connecticut. Connecticut?
It's one of the New England states. That's all I know.
Yeah, fucking chowder. Someplace Batman would have been comfortable.
Right, but I mean, this is the decision-making level in Hollywood. They're so up their own ass that the apparent one guy that you needed to get rid of, that could have, and then you could have made a better franchise, is the one guy that they have not let go and that they're standing behind. That is so ass backwards to everything that everybody wants. Everybody hates that.
Incidentally, only Jewish guy on the set. Even though Gal Gadot, literally born in Israel.
Who are we talking about?
You said Jewish guy, so while Gal Gadot is Jewish, she's not a guy.
The firing of basically the entire Justice League, minus the felon in waiting.
Which is who?
Ezra Miller.
Who did he play? Oh, the Flash.
The Flash.
Ray Fisher? I think Ray Fisher might have been the black guy's name.
Maybe. Who cares? It was bad.
Ray Price? It's either Fisher or Price. I don't remember why.
Careful now. That's a toy company.
They should probably... No, that's Hasbro, probably. It is.
No, Fisher Price. It's a toy company.
No, I was going to say probably makes the Justice League toys, but that's probably Hasbro.
Cast. Ray Fisher.
I was right.
Did they fire Amy Adams as well?
Who cares about Lois Lane? That's what I'm worried about in the
Superman
next
does.
Doctor. That's what I'm worried about in the next Doctor Strange. Who's gonna play what's her face? I don't even know who Rachel McAdams' character's name is. Deborah, Lindsay, fuck if I know. She did get married. Was she the one who got married to Jon Snow? Somebody got married to Jon Snow, or someone got engaged to Jon. He was in something. No, I think that was the Eternals. It was something. Gosh, everything's just awful.
But yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers making bad decisions. I kind of had some hopes for James Gunn coming in because some of the stuff he makes is actually decent, but now that this is what the direction they're going, I'm just Hollywood is fucked.
I don't name Christine. Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. It's all shit. But yeah, so she was talking about the toxic, the fandom. And I'm like, it's not the fandom. The fandom is what the fandom is. You know, you don't shit on the bronies, you, even though you should.
Well, here's the problem is twofold. Number one, it's not like you're making high art here. You're making comic book movies, and you're trying to sell the comic book movies to people that like comic books and movies. Don't shit where you eat.
Yeah. Well, Stephen Dwarf was saying how Marvel movies aren't real movies. I'm like, dude, you were in the first Marvel movie. You're OG. I mean, technically, it's a second after. Well, what did we count first, Blade or X-Men? But Howard the Duck is Marvel as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Do you count a George Lucas movie as the first Marvel movie?
As far as a Marvel movie, it's a Marvel movie. Do you count Blade as a Marvel movie? It's a Marvel movie.
Well, they're Marvel characters, but are they Marvel movies? Like, Marvel didn't have a studio.
They are Marvel movies. They are not Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And fucking technically, the Hulk shouldn't count either because it's not played by Ed Norton.
What, the Eric Bana one?
No, Ed Norton.
No. Before
Right?
Ed Norton did it, there was a Hulk movie made by Eric Bana. Well, starring.
Yeah, but there was Hulk. Then there was the Incredible Hulk. That's where. Yeah, that's where Mark Ruffalo comes from. It's the Incredible Hulk.
No,
Right? The Incredible.
No, because there was no standalone Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie. He was just the Hulk in the Avengers.
Yeah, but it should have been Ed Norton, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is the canon movie in the Marvel universe is the Ed Norton Bruce Banner.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. And the only reason that's the specific Hulk is because of Abomination and Thunderbolt Ross. Because they were in, well, one was in fucking She-Hulk, which was terrible, and the other was Civil War. Thunderbolt Ross was in Civil War. And it was a Marvel Studios Valhalla Motion Pictures production, distributed by Universal. And that was in 2008. And produced by Kevin Feige. Feige.
Feige. Kevin Feige.
Feige.
He spells it like beige. He's about as good as beige. He's about as entertaining as beige. It's Kevin Feige.
I liked Hulk better. I didn't care for Eric Bana, but Jennifer Connelly, Sam Elliott, Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte was a piece of shit, but that's fine. I didn't care for him being like an actual bad guy. Like, I'm your father. Let's fight.
Well, again, the writers. Speaking of which, the writers in Hollywood have sucked since the last writers' strike, and then these fools are thinking about striking again here this year. It's like nobody's gonna care.
Yeah. Be good before I miss you.
Right. But they're literally there's just inundated with bad writers coming out of that have no life experience coming out of colleges over the last 10 years. They have nothing interesting to say, nothing interesting to write about, and then even if they do, they're guaranteed to get squashed by committee or producer, even before it gets to the director level.
Yeah. And after.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein was famous for coming in halfway through a shoot and say, cut 20 minutes off the movie. Just to save on him having to buy film stock for distribution. Like he was fucking known for that and sleeping with women against their will.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were a smart producer or well, he was the producer. So if you were a smart director working for Harvey, you just pad your movie by 40 minutes and
Like 40 minutes. Yeah, this movie's called The Frightener. It's 3.5 hours of shaky Michael J. Fox chasing down the ghost that killed his wife. Oh, you only want 210 minutes? Okay. I can see what we can do there. We can get down to 310. Yeah. They was it who did Reindeer Games? Was that Schumacher?
I think that was Schumacher.
Yeah, he quit after that. Test audiences that John Frankenheimer. That's who it was. But jeez, just he was great, and they fucking killed it.
Well, again, Hollywood's got to start producing stuff we actually want to see. And interestingly, Avatar 2 did pretty darn well, which tells you just how bad Hollywood is suffering, because I couldn't make it through the first Avatar 13 years ago. I have zero interest in seeing Avatar 2, but apparently mindless movies that at least don't have the message in them are doing well, because the two top grossing movies of last year were Avatar 2 and Top Gun 2. Sequels to movies that are way late did the best in 2022.
Yeah. John Frankenheimer did Ronin. He did that terrible fucking Isle of Dr. Monroe, which was mostly Marlon Brando's fault. But he did The French Connection too. Dead Bang, The Challenge. God, he's got like 50 years of movies. The Burning Season. which must have been interesting for Raul Julia to eat a film set that was well done. The General's Daughter. That was a movie I was rather uncomfortable with again. What interesting fellow. I enjoyed Ronin, but again, that was like 98.
Are you gonna go see Pooh, Blood and Honey, and when it hits the theaters?
No, I'll wait. I'll wait for Amazon.
There's literally no movies coming out that I want to go to see in a theater.
Uh,
I take that back. Renfield might be worth going to see in a theater.
well, yeah, could be. If it was just Nicolas Cage, no, but with a decently high paid cast like Nick Fuckernutters, yeah, I can see that.
That might be worth a movie ticket purchase. But I'm not going to go see Aquaman if it ever actually makes it to the theaters. I'm not going to go see the Marvels. I'm not going to go see Ant-Man Quantumania.
What about Cocaine Bear?
Not in a theater. I will see it, but I will not watch it in a theater.
What about that? Timothy Chalamet is going to be. Is he the new Willy Wonka or is he the old Willy Wonka?
Ugh.
Or no, he's a young Willy Wonka. I think that's what it is. Like he's going to fight the
prequel. This is where he gets the Oompa Loompas. This is the prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I will be seeing John Wick. I will be seeing Deadpool.
Dude, Deadpool's not coming out till the end of next year. At best.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I know I'm on the other side, but 2028 Avatar 4, baby. 2023 Fast and Furious 10, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Aquaman 2.
Yeah, won't be seeing
The
Aquaman.
Nun 2.
I doubt I'll go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's a maybe for me.
Jason Statham is returning to the Meg 2, The Trench.
No.
He's going to fight another fucking giant shark.
No, what we need is another Italian Job, not another fucking Meg movie.
I wouldn't care for a second Italian Job. I like the Italian Job, but speaking of which, did you catch me earlier when I called you W?
No.
For flubbing up that fucking line?
No.
Yeah. So, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, a fooled man can't get fooled again. So yeah, if you sign on to a job and you get screwed a second time, I don't care for you at all. Ew. Oh God. This looks terrible. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is an upcoming American computer animated American film directed by Jeff Rowe and written by Brendan O'Brien. It's a reboot of the Ninja Turtles film franchise and the second theatrical animated entry following TMNT. And it's got Tom Holland as Raphael. So they're going to be younger because James Marsden is playing Splinter.
Dude, it's in the name. They're teenagers.
How dare he? He needs to go back to racing Sonic.
Well, you watch. He's gonna get shit for not being Japanese.
He's a fucking rat. Is there anything specific that he was in Okinawa? No, that's Korea. Like he
No,
was in
Okinawa.
Japan.
Okinawa is in Japan.
Okinawa is in Japan.
Yeah, Okinawa is in the southernmost island of Japan. Well, probably not the southernmost island of Japan, but it's the biggest. Well, it's the southernmost big island of Japan.
So it's a Japanese prefecture.
Yeah, they're Japanese.
God damn it.
Okinawans are Japanese.
Well, there goes my Avatar 3 is coming out in 2024.
What is?
Barbie, Avatar 3.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Another- The Transformer movie with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So no interest in that, unfortunately, but I'm sure it'll do okay with the kids, especially if they release it in the summer, like anybody with any brain would release it in the summer. Because
Another Equalizer starring Denzel Washington's coming out, which is fine because he's done with that shit. And he's going to make a Michael Jackson biopic. Another Indiana Jones coming out in 2023. Another Kung Fu Panda.
there are
Another
only
Star
3
Trek.
Indiana Jones movies.
Hey, you keep that shit to yourself. We're on number 7 now. No, wait. Crystal Skull was 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the 5th. Blue Beetle? Who the fuck is playing Blue Beetle? That is not a name I can pronounce.
They're just out of ideas, dude. They really have no clue what to do. And it's gonna take like oddball stuff. Like independent movies are gonna have to somehow break through it to relieve us of these doldrums. Because the major movie houses are producing schlock.
XOLO. I don't know what that is in Mexican.
Zolo?
It's something like that, maybe.
Is it a is that like a female version of Zorro?
No, it's a dude. It's a dude's name.
Okay.
Another Mad Max. This one I think is about Furiosa.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Dune Part 2.
I'll probably give that a try, maybe. I don't like Zendaya. But the first one
Is she in it?
was okay. Yeah, she's in it.
So really, Expendables 4 and John Wick 4 is maybe Blue Beetle. That's about it.
Yeah, we're gonna need like independent movies or quirky movies to do something and make it good. Like, I think that maybe Renfield can hopefully start that trend, even though that's a complete rehash too. But whatever, at least it could be entertaining, and it's something that's not a freaking comic book movie or a sequel. It might be somewhat original.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the. Do you see Wild Hogs?
No.
It's like. I don't feel like it's John Travolta, and I think Tim Allen maybe, and a couple other like young bikers who left biking behind and like went into like the corporate world.
Yeah.
Came back to it. I'm expecting that in like the next 3 years, but with chicks. Or space cowboys. Like, only old astronauts can go into space for this, except it's chicks. They're going to pitch an exact movie and say, only with chicks. And it's going to get a green light. It's going to be how James Cameron walked in and pitched Aliens 2. But the only with chicks, the S in chicks is going to have 2 slashes through it for $.
Right. Yeah, that's really not working out well for them. So I highly doubt that's gonna get us there.
Yeah. And it's a shame. I think it would be very interesting if you had a movie that was based around more women being on the planet than men, and them being the predominant breadwinner, and the men being the stay-at-home sought after and desired group. That would be a genuinely interesting take on all the spin. You know, and you could have a bunch of fucking groups where the 2 girls were lesbians, and there were trannies who wanted to emulate men. You can have all sorts of interesting stuff. Just do it right and start it from the fucking beginning.
Sounds to me like you got a script to write.
Oh, God, no.
On the
all right. We fade in. These 2 hot babes are just scissoring the shit out of each other.
It's Dave.
Close up on left nipple. Zoom out to right nipple.
Yeah, put that in that stack too, if you don't mind. These are all good.
Hey, Garrett.
I think they are, right?
I wonder if I can mute him from here.
Hey, Garrett.
Yeah,
What?
good.
You got anything you want to talk about?
He muted.
The Utes.
I mean,
What are you
I-
gonna do with them?
Kind of busy.
Huh? You got anything? Huh? Did you hear about any particular group of police officers that may or may not be gang affiliated?
How much credence do you give that bullshit?
None.
I was gonna say
But dude, I'm from Detroit. That was a thing in Detroit.
No, I mean I can see it being a thing. I just see it as such a far left field outside chance. And even if they are, what do they get against this particular kid? You know?
Well, come on. I mean, they painted Trayvon Martin as a 12-year-old. They painted Hands Up, Don't Shoot as a kid who wanted to get into college to love his way through HVAC repairs. And Ahmed Arbery was just a sports-loving, kind jogger. And they'll do anything to paint these assholes however which way they can. But the guy, they called him a bird watcher instead of an asshole in New York City who was threatening to poison dogs with tainted treats to Karens who let their dogs off leashes and shit. Like they will do anything to warp a story. And this shit didn't happen at dusk. It was dark as fuck out. How long does it take you to close down your camera lens from taking pictures of a sunset at 24 years of age. Like, come on, man. I don't know how old this fucking dude was, but I doubt his black ass was out taking pictures of a sunset.
Oh, I don't think it matters. What these five did was obviously abuse of authority at the very least.
Yeah, but there were 5 of them, and they couldn't handcuff him.
Well,
So
it's kind of hard to
what are the
handcuff somebody.
chances?
It's kind of hard to handcuff somebody when you're literally passing the dude around in between you for taking cheap shots.
That was afterwards. They were the body cam footage I saw. The dude running up on them, they had already gotten him to the ground and were attempting to handcuff him while he was resisting, calling for his mama and saying he couldn't breathe. And I couldn't even believe this because I joked with Bunny about it in a conversation earlier that day about they must not have hit him with the mace because in general you don't mace somebody that is directly next to you. But he fucking maced them with 3 people standing around him and 1 on top of him. And he maced himself in the process. That is a poor training. And when he was getting passed around and hit, everyone's like, he's got his hands behind his back. They're not cuffed, though.
Right. But, I mean, does that make a lick of difference when you're literally passing around a kid that's half your size to be beat by all 5 of you?
That's my issue with it. He's half their size. That has to be drugs. You cannot be that incompetent that 5 people can't handcuff a dude. Are we saying that they're that incompetent?
Could be. Could be.
It's either dude was drugged up or it was some sort of gang hit. Intentionally not handcuffing him, keeping his arm bent so he couldn't get his hands next to each other to be cuffed.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to armchair quarterback it like that. I don't think that you have to definitively say it was a gang hit. I think that's horse shit. But I'm open to be proven wrong on that one. I mean, it's not impossible. It's just highly unlikely. And the same with the drugs. It's not impossible. I just don't think it's as likely as everybody says it is.
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on with this Nancy Pelosi husband nonsense. Paul Pelosi and that guy. I still don't know who opened the door.
Yeah, I got that same question.
Are you so rich you have like a button you can push for a door to completely swing open? Is that a thing? Like you could hit with your elbow? I'm like, how the fuck did this door open? Like the door swings open and all hands are in view.
Yeah.
He's got a drink in one hand, a hammer in the other. The guy's got 2 hands on a hammer. Like, what the fuck is going on here? There is a video that claims there's an additional person behind the door. I don't see anybody.
I've looked at that 5 or 6 times, even with it circled. I'm like, no.
I'm like, what's circle here? Is that a blind? Is that supposed to be someone pushed up against it, looking through it?
What I think you see is when they turn the bright light on, is that it reflects off the window, and what you're seeing is like the reflection of the arm of the cop. Because there is like a shadow on the window, but it's on the window. It's not behind the window. It's not behind the blinds. It's on the window. And yeah, I don't think there wasn't somebody behind the door. I don't think.
I
Somebody
just
was
want to know how
telling
that
me
fucking
that
door got opened.
they think it was what's the dude's name? The
Not
attacker.
Paul.
Yeah, the attacker.
Dave? Pete? Pete DePete?
David DePete.
David?
David DePete?
David.
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. The cracked out Canadian. Some people think that it was him that actually actuated the door. Because he's got one hand on the bottom of the hammer. Paul's got his hand in the middle of the hammer. And then Paul, when the door opens, has his left hand on the top of the hammer. So my ex-cop buddy is pretty sure that guy used his left hand to actuate the door because Paul had one hand on the handle and the other on his drink. Why Paul doesn't let go of his drink, I don't know. That's a committed booze hound. Got to give him some props for that, I guess.
Yeah, how vintage is that gin?
Right. This is 15-year-old scotch, by gum. I'm not going to waste it.
This came over on the Titanic. This gin was bottled 3 years before gin was invented.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know on that one. I think that Nancy. Two things about Nancy is that she had the house. Not excommunicated. What am I thinking of? Exorcised. She had the house exorcised by a priest. And interestingly, she has not been seen in public since that.
She's like, wait, I was in a shell. How's this affecting me? Don't send me back to my demon coral.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I don't know. Has there been any update on the Crowder bullshit?
Well, last thing I heard about Crowder is he's gay. So, it's the last thing I heard.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's the last update I heard on Crowder. No, I don't. I haven't heard anything, but I'm Team Crowder all the way. Like, fuck Jeremy Boring.
No, Steven, not really. We haven't really talked about it yet.
What?
Eliza Blue. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Right after we get through Jack Murphy. Well, his wife, anyway.
Heyo.
We have his permission. Yeah, I haven't, there's nothing new. He hasn't popped off with anything. They haven't popped off with anything. I think everyone realized everyone else involved is stupid. like everyone Team Crowder's like, oh, they don't get it. They're stupid. And everyone on the Daily Wire side was like, these fucking idiots don't understand how contracts work.
I'm not.
Do you understand how a contract works?
I say I'm not Team Crowder on this one, but I'm more on Crowder's side than I am on the Daily Wire side on this one. I'm like, this is obviously just a contract that wasn't good for either side. Jeremy Boring took the opportunity to insult Steven Crowder, and Steven Crowder is a reactionary bitch, so he flew off the handle. Okay. These are all known things. I don't hate either side. I don't like either side. I'm just, Crowder's more right here than the Daily Wire is. Either way, fuck it, move on.
I don't like Crowder, but I am entertained by Crowder.
That's fair.
I like Clavin and am entertained by Clavin. Otherwise, those guys can just fuck the fuck off.
I like Brett.
I said guys.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I find Michael Knowles insufferable. I'm not a huge fan of Matt Walsh.
I find them mostly pretentious.
Yes.
Even Clavin I find pretentious.
Oh yeah, he can be, but he's old, so he gets to be.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I'm one of the good Catholics. I used to be a Jew. I traded sides. I'm like, listen, you and Prager, go fucking back.
Oh, who cares?
No one believes you. Everyone thinks you had your fingers crossed. You didn't get your foreskin reattached. I don't believe you. Go on.
No, I got nothing more to say on it. Again, like I said, Team Crowder,
Nothing?
sort of. Daily Wire, I don't care.
Nothing past my foreskin reattached comment? You're done?
No, I got nothing. I got nothing. You and Omar would make, a good couple.
Oh, but we're not related. And whatever her hang-ups are. So from foreskin to forced skin, let's talk about Eliza Blue.
Hold on.
Also, fuck those cunts. Huh?
Can we back up for just a minute about Crowder?
Sure.
Oh, you want to chip in now?
I was busy. I'm at work after all.
I
I finally got around to watching Lauren Chin's video about it, and it seems like he does this with everyone. And I'm not saying he did it specifically to Crowder as an insult, but it is a business practice I'm not a fan of, making this type of a term sheet that's supposed to just go through and redline so much crap, and you spend months on end negotiating it with lawyers and DW. So that's my take. I don't think he was insulting. He was just doing something.
Well, it was. It's insulting if you have.
I mean,
if you give the same contract.
There, I don't care how.
If you give the same contract to Brett that you did to Steven Crowder, it's an insult.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Brett and Candace Owens shouldn't have got the same contract.
It's
Each one of those jackasses on the Daily Wire should have had their own individual contract, not a standard boilerplate
again
term sheet.
If this is just a standard practice, hold on.
Sure. It's not like we're live. It's not like there's dead air. We'll wait for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he is at work, so we'll cut him some slack. But we are live, so hurry the fuck up.
I get what Garrick's saying. I think
it's wrong. Yeah, I mean, he's right, but I think the practice is wrong.
Correct. Well, and there's no winners here. There's no losers. There's just shit.
Yeah.
It is absolutely an insult to Steven Crowder to put in, well, if you lose your YouTube monetization, then you lose 20% of your contract. Bitch, you know who Crowder is. You know where he's starting from. Already demonetized.
Yeah, you keep
on
saying
Facebook.
50 million. You keep saying you're offering 50 million. You're offering 40 million. You're not offering 50 million. You're offering 40 million.
Well, not only that, but like the whole thing is designed so that it's like the Daily Wire is buying Louder with Crowder, but they're assuming absolutely none of the risk of Louder with Crowder. They just want to own it. They don't want to own any of the risk. Steven's still doing all the production out of that 50 million. He's still expected to do all the production. So what exactly is the Daily Wire contributing to this shit? Nothing. They're just taking money. The entire thing was designed so that they were just going to take money from Steven Crowder. It's an insult.
Yeah, especially since he's got 350,000 subscribers, more or less, from Mug Club. That is roughly $15 million. $70 to $13 a month, anywhere in between. It's about 120. It's anywhere from $90 to $120 a year. Well, $79.99 or whatever to $120.
Right. So use
a year,
use
basically.
the low ball figure. Use the veteran rate, because that's going to be the majority of those subs. It's going to be the reduced fee. It's not going to be the list fee. It's going to be the reduced fee.
Well, I mean, that's only for students and military.
Correct. But that's going to be the bulk of them, because if you can't figure out how to bullshit your way into that discount, you're not very smart.
Okay. So we'll call it 10 million a year. That's strictly just bare bones of it. Wait, was that? We'll call it $70, because that's even lower than the $80. $79.99, whatever.
Right.
So 350 times $70 is 24.5 million for the year.
Yeah.
They want that money, and to pay Crowder 12.5 million.
Yeah, 12 and a half.
Yeah.
Again, for what? What risk are they taking that would warrant that kind of obscene profit? And B, what services are they providing to Crowder for that fee? I don't see anything in that term sheet that says the Daily Wire shall.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to run promotions. You're going to promote Louder with Crowder. The whole reason you buy Louder with Crowder is because it promotes the Daily Wire, not the other way around. It sells the Daily Wire. Steven Crowder will sell everybody else on the Daily Wire if he's part of the Daily Wire. It doesn't work in reverse. It's not like Ben Shapiro's got a bigger audience than fucking Crowder.
Yeah. Your biggest is Shapiro, who has 500,000 subs less than Crowder.
And I can almost guarantee
be the predominant.
a lot of those subs are already because of his association with Crowder.
Mm-hmm.
Like election night, when they had the joint stream, there were so many people watching Crowder on Rumble that he outclassed the Daily Wire's audience on YouTube and the Daily Wire by more than 5 times. 5 times more people were watching on election night Steven Crowder on fucking Rumble. Not even on YouTube. And when they did the cross stream, that netted the Daily Wire more viewership. Jeremy Boring is up his own ass.
He is.
He absolutely insulted Crowder. And that's why I'm more on Team Crowder. But on the other hand, Crowder's a dick. And if he's truly worth all of this, he can just go independent, and should. And that's why it's just a bad deal for both of them. Just go independent.
He doesn't want to be the boss. That's why Gerald's CEO and not him. The fuck are you, Garrick? We're about to change subjects again.
Yeah, y'all go for it. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, well, and the thing is, if people are paying for Mub Club now and they've gone an entire month without any Louder with Crowder, whose fault is that?
Well, are any of us paying for Mug Club?
I'm not anymore. I stopped 2 years ago.
I mean, he might still be doing Mug Club.
There are people that are subbed to Mug Club that are not getting the product they signed up for. Whose fault is that?
I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't care for it though.
Right. Well, that's my whole point. Is Steven Crowder should be doing a show. Why is Steven Crowder not doing a show?
Yeah. Well, maybe like Tim the Tool Man and all those guys. Maybe they're Blaze employees.
I don't think so, because the way it was written and the way it was stated is that because Crowder runs his own production crew, I think that those people probably are Steven's employees. Although we don't know the terms of the termination of the contract with the Blaze. Maybe those guys had the option to go work for the Blaze, and maybe they took it.
Yeah. That's half of acquisitions in that kind of industry is getting the people behind the scenes.
Right.
Oh, you have a proven track record of being able to edit a fucking thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a lot of questions I have for Steven that don't involve the Daily Wire at all. I want to know about Steven's operation. I want to know why he's not producing the show that people signed up for a subscription. Why are you not doing
Garrett.
the thing that you say that you do?
Yeah. Garrick, with Romy, did she say, because Blonde said that Crowder offered her half as much as the Daily Wire. I thought I heard she was offered twice as much by Crowder.
No, half.
Half as much by Crowder?
But she had more, what is it? Creative rights, basically.
Who's this?
Huh?
Who are we talking about?
Lauren Chen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
So Crowder offered her half of what the Blaze offered?
Of
No,
what,
Daily Wire.
DW.
Oh, but I thought she was with the Blaze.
She is.
Oh, okay.
She can't talk about what she's making at the Blaze. But she could talk about offers she got from Daily Wire and from Crowder.
Well, there's the other question I have for Steven is why did you leave the Blaze? I get that the contract expired, but why did you not re-up with the Blaze?
He never wanted to. He wanted to leave when they said no more Gavin McInnes. And I used to like Gavin McInnes when he was on Red Eye. But I don't particularly care for Gavin McInnes as a person.
I'm with you.
But let's talk about Eliza Blue.
Yeah, let's get on to it. Seeing as
These
it was
bitches.
in the title. So do you guys know do you both know the story of what's been going on there?
I do not.
Okay, so do you know who Brittany Venti is?
Oh, I know who Brittany Venti is.
Garrett, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So Brittany put out a post on Twitter that included a still from a World Star video that had Eliza Blue. Well, it's an Eliza Blue video that was on World Star. Asking Eliza's asking her to clarify some questions that Brittany had. The response there was that Twitter banned Brittany Venti because the excuse is that it was non-consensual sharing of pornographic material, according to Twitter. There was no pornography in the still. The video was still up, and the video is not public domain, but it's owned by World Star, who paid Eliza to be a hip-hop hoe in a video that Eliza agreed to and is glowing about in other interviews. Anyway, so it seems like Eliza's connections to Twitter, and this is my speculation, I have nothing to back this up other than there was an event that took place with Eliza Blue that featured Eliza Blue where she got a Tesla, which kind of tells me that Eliza Blue has worked her whole way into hanging out with Elon himself. Because of the reaction that Twitter took, Elon's the head of Twitter. Elon is also the head of Tesla. She had an event where she got a Tesla, and then Twitter takes this action to protect her, whatever. I think she's banging Elon. That's my speculation. I have no proof of said such other than those two coinciding things. I don't believe in coincidence, therefore I'm drawing this conclusion. Either way. So Britney's banned from Twitter, and it's blowing up, and Twitter is actively changing their definitions of what qualifies for bannable offenses or not. So Jeremy from the Quartering, who I am not necessarily a fan of, I find that I'm often on his side, but I don't like him. He also posted it, and
Preach, brother, preach.
He also got himself banned off of Twitter. Now, today, the Quartering is back on Twitter. His account has been restored. Britney's is not restored. So this tells me that Jeremy from the Quartering probably acquiesced to Twitter's demands that he delete the tweet. I have not confirmed or even bothered checking to see if that's a true statement or not, but knowing his weaselly, duplicitous ways, my guess is he acquiesced and did, in fact, delete the offending tweet so that he could get back on to Twitter and do some shit on Twitter. Either way, what's coming out is that because Britney got banned off of Twitter for asking Eliza questions, Britney's friends have come to the defense of Britney, the Quartering doing the same thing and being banned in solidarity, at least up until today. And then Chrissy Mayer is acting like Eliza straight punched her in the face with all the shit that Chrissy Mayer has been going off and finding and doing all the reporting on and finding all the obscure contacts about Eliza Blue, Eliza Knows, Eliza whatever she was calling herself at the time. And the questions everybody has about the timeline of Eliza Blue, who says that she's for, she's an advocate for those who have been trafficked. Says she's a trafficking victim herself. She cannot be pinned down as to what her trafficking was. She's not stated any names or called anybody out for this illegal activity that would immediately end the perpetrator up in jail. Conveniently, she's never named names. Yet she does all this activism, and it looks like it's all a huge grift. A la Jack Murphy. Again, this goes back to what I said a year ago when Jack Murphy had his falling out and was proven to be a fucking fraud. January is the year that Tim Cass guest gets outed as a fraud in their bullshit.
Month.
Where
you said January is a year. January is a month.
January is the month that happens annually now. It's a yearly event. Last year, this year, it's be somebody new next year.
When was the cat stolen? When was the cat stolen?
What?
Remember Tim Pool was holding a cat hostage?
Well, that was his brother's cat, right?
Was that January of 2020?
It might have been.
2021?
It might have been.
And
so there's just January is the year that something falls out for Tim. Some nonsense falls out for
January Tim. Is Shark Week for the Tim Pool conglomeration. Here's my thing. If I have blackmail of you, you are less likely to report me if I can post that blackmail. So she can be a victim and preach her little heart out as long as she doesn't name names. And I know girls personally who have been trafficked who seem very eager and willing to do the things that they are being trafficked for because it's blackmail held over their heads and not an actual leash around their neck. Eliza has said from the very beginning, her interviews, she came out to LA at 17 from fucking Nebraska or some bullshit.
Illinois.
What the fuck ever. Middle America. Midwest. To be famous. And along those lines was the girl from the Pussycat Dolls, who was like, "Hey, I signed up to be a Pussycat Doll, not a high-end escort to Arab billionaires." And she still hasn't named names, but Kayla Jones is out there, shooting her shot, talking her words and her love of Jesus. But I would rather err on the side of why are we picking on a victim?
Because we don't think that she is a actual victim. Her stories
I
don't
think
line up, including how old is this broad?
And they very well could be lies because she's still under threat. If you
Now
have a video
is the
coming
time
out,
to come clean. Now is the time for the mea culpa come clean. You're already taking the hit. You're already taking the hit. Now is the time to come clean. If she is in fact a victim, I guarantee you, even the people that are attacking her now, if she proves substantially that she was a trafficking victim and we can get somebody specific for said behavior and get them moseyed on to wherever they need to be that jail or off this mortal coil, then she will be vindicated. But now is the time to make that proof. Now is the time to call it out. Now is the time to be what she says she is and say it. Instead, she's using her power and influence with Twitter to shut it down. And it's Streisand affecting. It's only a big deal because she tried to squash it.
Mm-hmm.
But how old is this
Again,
chick?
I don't care for anybody involved.
This chick is the daughter of an Illinois state congressman. He is a politically connected individual in the state of Illinois. He can offer some form of protection. He can offer some sort of enhanced investigation and law, authority going after. He can leverage his position with cops and the FBI and whoever he needs to as a politician to help his daughter out. But his daughter has lied about her age and about her situation, and because she wants to be famous, stated that was her goal, to leave Illinois and become famous by any means necessary. This is just the next step in her grift. She is besmirching actual victims by doing this. We all want to help trafficking victims, legitimate victims. What she's doing is she's taking the grift. And I can prove that because she went on Hotep Jesus' show and coerced him into giving her an interview, which is fine, whatever. If she is who she says she is and she's doing it, it's a noble cause. Let's not fake the funk. It's a noble cause if she's doing it. Nobody can find her actual charity. No one can find a 503c for her. Nobody can find the actual house that she says she set up to help the runaway victims or the trafficking victims. Nobody can find this
I've worked in a domestic violence center. They don't want that out there.
No, I understand that. But if you're giving to a legitimate organization, there is a way to contact them to give money to these people that doesn't involve a Cash App or a chat site.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is the only way that she's taking money. And on Hotep Jesus' show, he's doing the right thing and saying, well, then half of all the super chat money we get is going to go to your cause. And then she said, well, I don't, you don't really can do it, but I'll take the money because I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't have blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. You're just grifting. You're taking money. Because the only way to contact stuff, the only way to do this shit, like, it's like, oh, well, okay, so what's the number for your organization? Oh, you can find that in my Twitter bio. Bitch, say the number. If it's in your Twitter bio, you pull up your Twitter bio and you read it. If you don't know it off the top of your head, which I can believe because you're a fucking dumb bitch, pull it up off your own Twitter bio and state it on the stream you're on. She can't even be bothered to do that. Oh, go check out my Twitter bio or go hit my Cash App. My Cash App's blah, 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 blah. She's a fucking grifter, dude.
Oh, your Cash App, huh, bitch?
Yeah, pretty much. And she does watch the Hotep Jesus interview with her. It's redonkulous.
Uh, how do you have a podcast and not Wi-Fi?
Exactly. Well, and you don't necessarily need Wi-Fi to do a podcast. Technically, we're not using my Wi-Fi doing this podcast. I'm hardwired into my cable modem. Okay, so what? Yeah, I don't have Wi-Fi. So? It's not obviously not inhibiting you from doing what you do. And if you have a phone, you don't need Wi-Fi. You can just use your service's internet. That's a you problem, bitch, not an us problem. But she's crowdfunded vacations, literal vacations, for all of her hard work that she does on this charity that nobody can actually seem to find or produce results. She was given an award for something or other. This was, if you look at Brittany Venti's, I want to say it's on her TikTok, but she's got a quick video of an award that was given to Eliza Blue, where they're like, and Eliza Blue wins this award for X, Y, and Z, and then let's, do we have the bullet points in the showcase of what she's done to win this award? And the answer is a very uncomfortable, we don't have anything to show, which she just wins the award, can we move on? Sort of thing. During the award ceremony. It's really weird. And all of this shit doesn't add up. The time frame that Eliza herself has stated on multiple venues doesn't add up. The fact that she's changed her name 5-6 times for each endeavor that she undertakes is odd. It just doesn't add up. She's full of shit. And if she's not full of shit, I'll say it again. Now is the time to come clean and prove that you're not full of shit, and I'll have egg on my face. Chrissy Mayer will have egg on her face. Brittany Venti will have egg on her face. But you gotta fucking bring the goods, bitch. Because now is the time. If not now, then never, and we're just gonna roll with you're a human piece of feces grifting off the backs of actual victims of a horrific crime. How fucking very dare you?
I agree.
Actual victim here.
Yeah, I'm not a Brittany Venti fan either.
I don't dislike Brittany Venti, but I don't necessarily like Brittany Venti. She's just some other chick out there doing her thing. Whatever. More power to her. So I'm not white knighting for Brittany Venti here. But it seems like the Timcast crew needs to do a hell of a lot better job vetting their guests on a regular basis than they all have been over the last couple of years.
Oh, so you're the LGBT person behind Gays Against Groomers? I need to see Kiss a Girl. There have been accusations around Tidcast. I'm going to see you scissor a bitch.
Well, again, I get why people don't want to, put the screws to Eliza Blue. If she is in fact a victim, that's a rough thing to go at. And you look like an asshole if you try too hard to press that. So you want to believe it, and you end up doing it. But that's what she's relying on in order to get the grift rolling.
the only lesbian allowed on Timcast is Ariella Garcella. It's Ariella Garcella, and it cost Tim $12 to find out she was a lesbian.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain that one.
She has an OnlyFans.
Yuck.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you if you wanna like, no. Like, oh, you don't subscribe to traditional beauty standards and you're right leaning?
It wasn't a Stephen. That wasn't a Fear Factor show. She was on Blind Date. Yeah, there's
Who was
like
what?
different
Who's
angles
that there?
to the rabbit hole that is Eliza Blue. She was a groupie for My Chemical Romance that ended up having a relationship of sorts with the lead singer, who, when it ended, shit went sideways. I guess I don't know. I don't care enough about these people to bother looking into a lot, but I can look into it just a little bit and see that the dates don't line up. We don't know how old this chick is, for real. The timelines don't match for when she says she did things. We have timestamps on other things that she did do. We have her stating that the thing that got Brittany Venti banned was something that she appreciated doing and sought out World Star to do to get paid. She got paid for it.
Yeah, it's an assumption, man. Not that she got paid for a part, but any part of she was the one, the driving force behind it, is an assumption. And I saw the video of her telling her mom she got the part and she was starring in the film or in the video, and that is just damage mitigation
Damage control.
of it coming out. You know, she was forced to be in that video. She was going out there to be in videos. So she was controlling what was going out there. She can still be a victim no matter how appearingly willing she is to do these things.
Again, if that's the case, the time to name names and come clean is right the fuck now.
I would rather my career implode on me than my blackmail that I've done terrible things for doesn't get released.
What could those terrible things be? Unless it's murder or child abuse, none of it matters. Those are the only two things that would matter at this point, because her career is over. She may not know it yet, but her career is over unless she comes 100% clean, names names, lays out a time frame that makes sense to everybody, and jives with what she has said. Now is that time. Because I can agree. Maybe she was the victim of trafficking, and that would be terrible. But now is the time to lay that out, and it's time to come to Jesus and lay it all out there and let the chips fall where the chips fall.
Yeah, Linda Lovelace promoted Lovelace, her Deep Throat, and she was an advocate since like 2 years after that came out, and her husband left her. And she was like, I'm free. I want this shut down and taken out of theaters and every other thing that can be done. They're like, can't help you, bitch.
Well, and changing your mind does not a victim make.
She was forced to do it.
What proof of that do you have?
Ron Jeremy's story behind it.
Okay. Because if there's proof,
this is why you're in prison.
If there is proof there, then again, this is the time to let the chips fall where they're gonna fall. Now is the time to do that. Because if it's true, I want to know, because then I want to support her. But right now, it's not looking that way. It's looking like she's full of shit.
There's a behind the scenes on one of Trauma's videos where he's talking about maintaining an erection while she's crying because her husband forced her back onto the set. But yeah, there's a good reason you're in fucking prison, Jeremy. There is no good reason. Whatever James Dean, John Dean, whatever that guy's not in prison just because he raped whores. Oh, never mind. Changed my mind. U.S. film star Ron Jeremy has been declared mentally incompetent to stand trial for alleged sex crimes. That is the 18th, January 2023.
Is it because he's
not competent to
syphilis ridden? Has he got the syphilis?
I guess that's a strong possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the answer is. I am not clicking on BBC in this context. Rolling Stones, because you guys don't defend fucking rapists all the time, and vice versa, lying rapist or mattress girl. Sexual assaulting 21 women, incompetent to stand trial. Whose full name is Ron Jeremy Wyatt. Mental health, courthouse, Hollywood. Incurable neurocognitive decline. No, it is not restorable.
Dementia.
In 2019, they found that some of Jeremy's issues may be caused by hearing loss. I mean, I've never found the guy to be a mental giant. He was filming something for Trauma, and it was just a day shoot, and they flew him to LA, and he showed up at the airport with no bag, just the clothes on his back, shirt and shorts and flip-flops, and he got on the back of a motorcycle that drove up to some fucking mountain in California, where he was freezing his ass off, and he nearly got hypothermia. So I've never seen him as a brilliant guy. I've never heard a coherent anything come out of his head. He's like a less intelligent Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Not saying Lou Ferrigno is dumb, but Lou Ferrigno does sound dumb. Because of his hearing loss. But he's such a fucking giant of a man that that high pitch is pretty fucking deep because of his barreled chest. Like Mary Matlin. I can't hear you.
Where's she been? I haven't seen her in years.
Apparently, there's no parts in Hollywood for a deaf grandma. Oh, you want to hear the bullshit sexiest American accents ranked by state?
That's fucking dumb.
Boston, New York, and Maine are in the top 5.
Where was this poll conducted?
Yeah, curious. Number 1 is a Texan accent. Number 2 is Bostonian, New York. Mainer, a Chicagoan.
I hate the
5
Chicago
Miss.
accent. Good Lord.
I don't care for the New York accent or the Boston accent. And one of my favorite people to listen to is a New Yorker. Just fucking awful. Boston, dear God. 6 Mississippi. 7's Hawaii. I cannot stand the Hawaiian accent or how they answer any question they ask. Philadelphia, St. Louis, and number 10, California. I can hear my accent sometimes when I listen to Canadians. I sound a little Canadian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking suck. But it's the fucking way. I say pillow. It's $1. But dear God, dear God. Did you see the mugshot of Pennsylvania's newest senator?
Look, he can't help that he's ugly.
That piece of shit Steven Suarez liked the comment from Not the Quartering saying Eliza Blue will be a leftist by the end of 2023. I don't think she was a right-winger to begin with, but...
No, literally out to be famous by any means necessary.
Yeah, apparently Mr. Beast is going around curing fucking blind people. Is that a thing? I don't watch Mr. Beast.
I don't watch Mr. Beast either. I don't like that kind of content.
Well, he's cured 100 of 1,000 people.
Okay.
And he has videos of blind people seeing for the first time. I don't know if that's a fucking an edit or if that's a real thing. It seems like it could go either way.
Yeah, I'd like to believe that Mr. Beast is out there doing good things to people and is profiting and doing well for himself off of it. But the cynic in me has questions.
On a different note, You People might be decent. It's got a 45 according to the critics and a 43 according to the audience. That sounds like it's right up my alley. Today years old when I found out, I learned how to spell chiclet.
Okay. I guess we should run a quick memorial for Cindy Williams and Lisa Marie Presley and Wednesday Addams.
I apparently missed when Penny Marshall died in 2019. I was like, no shit, Penny Marshall out-survived Cindy Williams?
No, Penny Marshall. I vaguely remember her dying a couple of years ago.
Yeah, she died in May of 2019. Oh, it's so weird. I can refer to the 80s and the 90s, but I can't refer to the 19. The 10s? Yeah, it doesn't work for me. I am Y2K, apparently. I'm about 3 comments shy of Ashley Sinclair being my new best friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll be moving that way here in a minute. She likes my fat phobic comments. Not as much as Garrick does, but close.
Oh, you know what I found out the other day? That I did not know, nor did I really care, but it's an interesting factoid. Do you know who George Tukalukas is? Tukalukas? Tukalausis? How do you say his name?
I don't. You're not giving me a name I've heard of.
You've heard of this guy.
George Thorogood?
George Tuliatos. No, that's not who I'm thinking.
You're not giving me much here.
Hang on.
George Takai?
Tsoukalos. Giorgio. Okay, it's not Giorgio, not George. Giorgio Tsoukalos.
The Ancient Aliens guy?
There you go. Yeah. Apparently, and I don't know that this is confirmed or not because it shows that he's married, and I can't find anything on his spouse. But apparently, super duper gay.
Oh, his wife's cute. Crix Beeble.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2013. She has an Etsy store.
Yes. So maybe I'm full of shit, and maybe the information I got it makes me full of shit. But
Well, I mean, his name's Giorgio. Pretty sure there's some Italian in there somewhere.
well, he's got a Greek last name, but is apparently Swiss.
Yeah, he was just born in Swiss. He's in his heart and his ass. He's Greek. Sukalos. Yeah, Sukalos. Sukalos. It says right here, George Sukalos, a.k.a. the Ancient Aliens guy. Alien. Yeah. Yeah, I did. This book I'm reading had it had this line that I fucking loved to death. It's a world that has magic in it, and it has and the interesting thing about magic, and I'm fairly sure, because all right, so there are since magic is in this world, it kind of paused development around early Enlightenment. Like there's pipes, even though the Romans had pipes, but there's no electricity. There's light orbs and light enchantment ruins and things like that, but no electricity for the masses because no one's interested in spreading to the masses, and masses don't have extra money to afford things like that, even if there were things like that. But there's also fire mages. So in the old days, when the they were still using fireworks as cannons, fire mages could cause little ambers showers that would ignite the gunpowder and just blow the fuck out of the people who are trying to use the fireworks as cannons. So in that world, there was no evolution from firework cannons to cartridge pistol rounds to anything like that, which is very interesting. And they're also much slower, ideally, because they have multiple races of species, basically. Like, they're animal species that are humanoid. Because there's ambient magic, the Ice Age didn't wipe out dinosaurs as much as allowed them to mature into chickens earlier. And then all those grew into people. Humanoid animals. I found it very interesting. They don't actually talk about it, you just have to think about it. But that's just the long way around to get to fucking a cat girl. That's all that story is.
Yeah.
I was like, you're going to fuck this owl chick, aren't you? 20 minutes later, dude's dicking an owl chick.
So, legitimate question here for you. How long did it take for you to realize that Dr. Anita B. Eaton, PhD, was a troll account?
Before I introduced her to you.
Okay.
Nah, as I introduced her to you.
I was gonna say, because the first thing that she got, it, whatever it happens to be, male or female, got famous for was that the thing that set off a lot of Twitter saying that obese is the N-word for fat people. And that looked legit. It looked legit.
Yeah. I'm like, this fucking bitch. And I sent it, and then I'm like, wait, Dr. Nina, this is Dr. Ann Lesby all over again. Holy shit. Ashley just posted this girl who's got like the tiniest bit of chub on her. Like, not rolls or anything, but she's got a little paunch around her belly. Nothing folding over or anything like that. She's maybe like 20 pounds. You look great in a bikini. She posted, when are you due? You fucking bitch. Ariella Scarcella's got a question. What city is worth going to more, Quebec or Ottawa? The answer's Toronto.
I was gonna say neither.
Yeah, that's. Don't be Nigel in Toronto, but Toronto is. Toronto in the spring is.
You keep saying it wrong.
Toronto?
No, it's Toronto.
I'm fucking half Canadian.
It's Toronto.
Canadians live south of me. Toronto.
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 Toronto. Toronto rhymes with Keanu.
So another thing that I found out last week, somewhere in there. Are you familiar with Paul Chatto?
No.
Okay. He's just one of these guys that's got a lot of videos out there about, the entertainment industry and such. Kind of like Doomcock or Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic. Kind of along those lines. Well, he was on Nita Infinity's live stream about that 90s show, which apparently doesn't suck. Who knew?
Don't know who that is. But have you seen just the cast of How I Met Your Father?
No, I saw that was the thing that existed, and I was just repulsed. So
it's diverse as fuck.
Well, it's one of those things. They're trying to recapture these shows that should have never been a thing to begin with. How I Met Your Mother and that 70s shows were both shot in the dark throwaway sitcoms that just happened to click and work.
Well, shit. Family Matters was about a fucking bellman turned cop
Yeah.
from Perfect Strangers.
Well,
Wait, was he a bellman or was he a cop?
He's always played a cop. He's been a cop on everything. Reginald B.
What do you think
Johnson
of a
plays
movie he
a
was in?
cop. That's what he plays. He's a cop.
He was a cop in Die Hard. He was a cop in Die Hard 2. That's everything.
He's a cop in everything.
All right, so yeah, he might have been a cop on Perfect Strangers, and that turned into a fucking clusterfuck of
Well, it turned into the Urkel show.
Urkel was on ABC, NBC, and the other one,
Fox,
yeah,
CBS,
uh,
NBC, ABC, CBS.
I'll have to Google it. Anyway, he crossed the networks on. He visited Step by Step. He visited. I think he was on a Full House. Like, fucking dude went everywhere. America loves its nerds. I mean, fucking Ernest P. Worrell was a goddamn commercial.
Yeah.
He sold Toyotas and milk and has like 13 movies to his name.
Yeah.
And just only recently had his Make-A-Wish record beaten by John Cena.
Who looks
But
remarkably like him.
could be his son. If his son said, "No, Dad, you never lifted. I'm going to always lift. I'm going to only lift, Dad, because you never did."
It's
hug I
funny
never got.
because it's true.
He does got some ears on him too. Yeah. Oh God, I loved Ernest.
Jim Varney.
I haven't watched a Jim Varney movie in
Oh,
3 months.
I showed Hudson one clip from Ernest Goes to Camp. One clip. And my son fell out laughing for an hour. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. And it's just hit Ernest when he's looking down the toilet that he's got to clean. And he mugs the camera and says, "Ew." My son thought that was the funniest shit he has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him singing in that movie.
Yeah, he was a fairly decent singer.
I mean, he wasn't the greatest, but that's barely an instrumental backing him up on that song. But that was back when people were talented.
Right?
You could be a triple threat. You could be a threat to camps, Christmases, and Halloweens.
Well,
and jails. Who isn't scared of a jail?
if you go back,
Did he go to the army?
If you no, that's Pauly Shore. If you go back and look at Jim Varney's stand-up though from like the late 70s and early 80s, it's good that Ernest came along for him. He was not great as a stand-up.
That's not fair. As a whole.
How do you figure?
Well, I did stand up, and I was not good.
No, stand-up's hard.
And to compare,
that's not
me to
dig.
Jeff Varney,
it's just saying that he.
No, what I'm saying is you write 20 minutes, half hour, 75, 90 minutes of material, and you go to your first gig and you practice your first 4 minutes.
Right.
If nothing hits, but you think you got something there, you trim it down as much as you can, and you practice the first 2 from that and another 2 minutes until you got something going for you, until you learn what works and doesn't work with you individually, because it's about you. Like, you couldn't have The Rock doing Bill Burr's stand-up. You couldn't have Bill Burr, who is a piece of shit, but an excellent comedian, doing Jeff Foxworthy stand-up. Yeah. You couldn't have Eddie Murphy and Bill Engvall switching scripts or whatever you want to call it. It's for that individual. And Mitch Hedberg, no one is there's not going to be the next Mitch Hedberg. There's not going to be the next Sam Kinison. There's not going to be the next Rodney Dangerfield or Norm Macdonald, who is the funniest when he's bombing.
Oh, because he loved to bomb. That's why. He ate
But
it up.
it was funny.
You could see the joy in his face when he was bombing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like, why am I laughing? This is terrible. And it's enjoyable. But you don't get to be like the next this or that. In acting, it's absolutely like he's going to be the next Harrison Ford or whatever. But it's very individualistic. And so if you get like a home video recording of what does and doesn't work, yeah, you have 10 minutes. You might have 2 minutes of good material in there because you're hitting up and finding what does and doesn't work until you've got 10 solid minutes, and then you go on Carson. So
Carson
no one comes.
Loved Jim Varney. And
absolutely, yeah.
I don't see it. I don't understand it. Because he's obviously talented. Jim Varney, undeniably talented. But his stand-up just never, at least to me, never seemed funny. Decent storyteller, but not funny. And the audience is laughing, and I don't understand why the audience is laughing unless there was a laughter sign, like an applause sign. Like I don't. It must be the 2-drink minimum. I don't get it.
No, there's a warm up before Carson. I watched Carson literally earlier today, and it was Don Rickles, and Don Rickles was fucking bombing.
He
flubbed a couple of lines too.
You have to be in the mood for Don Rickles. Don Rickles is one of those characters that you have to be in the mood for it. Otherwise, he was
just telling stories. He wasn't doing stand-up.
Okay.
Actually, I turned it off before I even found out what it was, but just there was a lot of racism. Like I was like, whoa, why are you going so hard on the Jews? Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. It's in the name. Don Rickles.
That's not his real last name. No way. Fuck that. I gotta Google this. Don Rickles, American comedian. Where is he from? Tel Aviv. No, he's from Queens. Died in 2017.
Really?
Holy shit!
He made it to 2017.
Donald J. fucking Rickles. No shit. When was he born? He was born in 26. He didn't. George Kennedy beat him. Both before and after. Insult Comics.
It's a lost art.
Who was he in Toy Story 4? I haven't even seen Toy Story 4.
He plays one of the toys. Is it the
I know Ed
penguin?
Asner was in.
No, I don't think it was a penguin. Something.
Ed Asner was was like the judge in Cars. That's the old guy in Up.
We gotta wrap this
Oh
up.
yeah,
I got kids that I gotta get to bed.
dude.
What?
Dean King posted a picture of him, and he was like next to his son. He goes, "Best part of my day." I'm like, all right, I'll bite. Where are you dropping your son off at?
The nudie boy.
Still hasn't got a like. Still hasn't gotten a like. I'm so disappointed. I just want you to like me, Dean. Alrighty.
Are y'all seeing my messages or no?
I saw the one.
I'm on my cell phone.
Mm.
I thought it was phone.
Sean, whenever you get a chance, I need some help with something.
Okay. We'll do that off air.
Yeah. So the baby's blue. What do we do?
Call
Like this is
911.
something you could have interrupted. This is something you could have interrupted the show for. All right.
Jay, you're on fire.
Oh God, Steven, if you get in, I'll tell you that story. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation.